My first live YouTube feed on Twin Flames and the Twin Flame Connection. My name is Michelle Fondin. And for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. And I'm so excited to have you guys here today. And make sure you guys can enter comments and questions. And I'm so excited to be here and excited to bring clarity to this subject about twin flames and the twin flame connection. So with that being said, I am going to just address bring clarity to this subject about twin flames and the twin flame connection. So with that being said, okay, so I'm totally new to this. So hopefully the chat features will come through the Google Hangouts here. Like I said, I am so new to this and I am not totally understanding how this is supposed to work. So bear with me here, please. So I'm going to go to the control room and hopefully we can get some clarity on questions that might be coming in, comments that might be coming in, and starting this beautiful chat. So the first thing that I really wanted to address was a lot of you have been asking questions about like the origins of twin flames. And for me personally, I don't like going down that rabbit hole really. And so somebody wrote me recently about the Pleiadians and all that jazz. And honestly, I don't know enough about that to really comment on it or have an opinion on it. I was raised Christian, as a lot of you know. I make a lot of Christian references. So I was actually raised Catholic. I'm Christian. I have a strong biblical background. And so I just know that God created this big, beautiful universe, and it's so vast, wide, and open that anything that God wants to create, God's going to create. And I really don't like to worry myself with, what are the origins of twin flames and why did it start and all of that. I really don't like to go there. So I just like to go to the point at which that understanding this journey and understanding the trajectory of the journey, and it's a really hard journey for so many of us to be on, that when we start going down the rabbit hole of other planets and planetary systems and origins, and whether you're a monad or whether you're from Atlantis or whatever the case may be, like I said, that's a rabbit hole we can quickly get down. And honestly, knowledge of that does not really truly help you with what you're going through today. So that's why I don't really like going there. Again, I said I don't have the information, and also it's not helpful. I am here to give you guys information that is actually helpful. And with that, I like giving practical stuff, practical life stuff that is useful for you from the day to day. So I'm going to try to look here at messages. And again, like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm not really seeing here. I'm going to go back to the classic live stream to see if I can see the chat. Right now, I can't see any chat. So I will see if I can see any. And otherwise, I'm seriously going to have some feedback if I go back onto YouTube, because I was going back onto Google Hangouts. And for some reason, let me go to live control room and see if that works. Okay, so live control room. All right. So now I think I can see the chat. That is awesome. Oh my God, thank you so much for Looks Wellness Center. Oh my God. Yay. Thank you, Cheryl. You're so sweet. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I thought I broke YouTube Live. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. A big, big shout out to Cheryl. Thank you so much. Cheryl and I just had an amazing reading, and it was so amazingly beautiful. And if you're new to my channel and you don't know that I do angel readings, I do angel romance readings. And I've said in previous videos that romance is actually my specialty. For some of you that don't even know about my past as far as doing readings. And this is super embarrassing. So I'm just gonna put it out there. So one summer, I was in the middle of closing my yoga studio and I needed revenue. So I actually was on the psychic hotline. So I was working for this company called Psychic Source. And so it was the weirdest job I have ever had, you guys. I really love doing readings, personalized readings, but Psychic Source is a little bit out there. So, okay, Deborah just said, this journey has made me dizzy. My twin is healing. He knows the hard work and understand the truth. We'll have amazing results. I'm glad the universe sent you to me, my path. You're very welcome, Deborah. So Cheryl and I today were actually talking a little bit about this and the fact that the twin flame journey comes with some work, right? It comes with some great work. And so you are going to be on this path to actually purge from your past. And so your twin flame, whether it's divine masculine or divine feminine, is going to have a lot of work to do. And at the same time, you have a lot of work to do. So I had an amazing epiphany, that's weird. I'm gonna do a video on this. I had an amazing epiphany yesterday. So I saw this movie, and if you've seen this movie, then write it down, like give me a shout out in chat. But I saw this movie called 5 Feet Apart, and if you haven't seen it, rent it. Rent it, make yourself some popcorn, and actually watch it. It is quite amazing. So 5 Feet Apart, the brevity of it, it's about 2 kids that have cystic fibrosis that actually fall in love with each other, but because of the bacteria, and Cheryl will know this because she's a doctor, because of the bacteria, there's this like super bacteria that happens with people that have cystic fibrosis. They cannot touch each other because they can infect each other. So, so here's the thing, it's this beautiful love story, but it's also a story about you have your own work to do. So live your own freaking life. Like, I know this journey makes you dizzy and it makes you totally crazy and you become obsessed with it and you become obsessed with the journey. And like, when is this going to happen? When are they going to be healed? When am I going to be healed? When am I going to be worthy of bringing this union to fruition or bringing us together? And you know, the movie really gave me perspective on this. Now, I shared with you guys that for me, this pretty much the dark night of the soul has been like over. It's over. But the epiphany I had yesterday upon watching that movie is that all the things that I accused my twin flame of during our separation and during this like back and forth were things that I actually needed to work on myself. And I never even realized it. So do you guys realize that? Like, comment if you realize that. If you're starting to realize that all of the things that you tend to be accusing your twin flame of doing or not doing, that those are actually things you need to work on yourself. So I'm going to look back up in the chat because I saw a comment. Lavender Jade Rosary. Okay. That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm seeing like colors and crystals. And okay, so somebody mentioned about colors. So if you see colors or if you're bringing colors to your mind as you're going through this journey, colors are representative of different archangels. Different archangels embody different colors. So Archangel Gabriel embodies the color gold. So if you see gold flecks or gold sparkles, that's actually Archangel Gabriel with you. And if you guys are not familiar, Archangel Gabriel is the archangel of communication. Of course, the Archangel Gabriel announced to Mary that she was going to have the Christ child. So about communication, Archangel Gabriel has a lot to do with children, or mothering. So if you're seeing Gabrielle, it's the color copper. Someone else mentioned blue, the blue aura or blue color. So that is Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael. So if you're seeing those types of colors, that means you're surrounded by the archangels. The archangels have got your back in this twin flame journey. So don't feel like, Anita Rogers was saying, like, sometimes it's so difficult. Okay, how about this, Anita? All the time it's so difficult. It really doesn't let up, right? It really doesn't let up. And the reason it doesn't let up is because we are on a mission to do something greater and something bigger. That's why it doesn't let up. It doesn't let up until you've let go. So as I mentioned, in seeing this movie 5 Feet Apart, and like I said, Redbox is going to be out of 5 Feet Apart today because you guys are going to all go out and rent it, and get a box of tissue because you're going to be crying through the whole thing too. So the epiphany that came to me was that I had accused my twin flame of not being emotionally available, if you will, or pushing me away. And for me, I realized that I've always held people at a distance. So let me backtrack. I'm a very loving and affectionate person, but as a protection mechanism, I've always held people, like friends and like lovers, at a distance. And I've always been like the bossy one. I've always been the one like, here, let me fix you. And I think that can resonate with a lot of you out there, especially the divine feminines that have taken on these codependent relationships of, here, let me fix you, right? So it took me to, I was accusing my twin flame, divine masculine, of ghosting me, of not letting me get close to him. And what I realized upon seeing that movie last night, and I had this epiphany, was that it was me the whole time. It was me. It was me throughout my lifetime, like not letting others get super close to me. And so it's like these epiphanies are going to keep coming, you guys. So as you're awakening, yes, it's painful to go through all this discomfort, but you are awakening. And as you're awakening, you're going to continually have all of these epiphanies, right? Yeah. So Deborah's saying, yeah, the fixing the other person was the problem, right? Oh my gosh, Cheryl, I thank you so much. And I'm so glad that I brought clarity to your situation. So yeah. Okay, Deborah says, yeah, girl, I'm a hot mess, but I'm understanding our mirroring. Yeah, the mirroring is something. So the example that I just gave about my epiphany is the mirroring. That's the mirroring in effect, because for how many of you were you in past relationships that you were in a codependent connection or a codependent relationship where you were trying to fix the other person, or you were like, okay, let me tell you how to do this because I know a little bit better, right? I'm the more enlightened one. I'm the better person. Like, I know how to fix you. If you just do this, this, and this, your life will be better. In that instance, in those relationships, we don't see it. Like, we don't see that's what we're actually doing. In a twin flame relationship, because of the mirroring, we're actually starting to see that it's us too. So that is the beauty in this. The beauty is this, is that when you see, sorry, when you see that it is you too, you're able to start transcending it. Okay. So, when I hear him, okay, somebody asked about fathers. I'm not really sure about that question. So if you could formulate that into a question. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Okay, so, okay, let me tell you this. So there's been some comments about colors, crystals, songs. So let me tell you this. When you're confused about this journey, when you are in doubt, when you are working in negative energies for yourself because it's so difficult, and it's so difficult to like think, is this person feeling the same thing that I'm feeling, especially if you're in separation? Your angels will try and send you as many signs as they possibly can to get you to notice and to get you to wake up. So you're gonna constantly see signs. You're gonna see signs left and right until you get it. And once you get it, the signs will calm down. Okay. So some of you may be getting signs as songs, right? So comment if some of your signs are songs. Okay. So for me, it was really weird. One day I was driving to work and I listened to Pandora and I changed the station just depending on my mood. And I was on this Pandora station, and what happened was my Pandora just went rogue. Like it went crazy, and it's really funny. I drive a Nissan Rogue. I just said that. It's called Rogue One from the Star Wars movie. So my Pandora station went rogue, and all of a sudden it started playing all these songs, but the songs were actually giving me messages. So it was insanely crazy. So it was like 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, like I will walk 1,000 miles. Then it was like Aerosmith, like I don't want to close my eyes and I don't want to fall asleep because I'll miss you, babe. Like it was all of these songs, and none of them were like the genre of the channel that I was actually listening to on Pandora. And then after like, there were like 3 or 4 songs. I can't remember the titles now, but there were 3 or 4 songs that were a message. And then after that, it went back to my normal channel. So it was so crazy. I was listening to these songs going, what the heck is happening? And I know for some of you guys that, that you heard this video where I said that I did my affirmations in my phone. And this is so embarrassing because if my twin like watches this, like he doesn't know this yet. But if my twin watches this is so embarrassing. And thank you again for your generosity, Cheryl. You're awesome. I'm totally going to come out to Dallas and visit you. So we'll do an angel event or a twin flame / angel event at your spa. So I was doing my affirmations in my phone about my twin flame. And these affirmations are really embarrassing, you guys, but it's all about like manifesting what I want in my life with him. And so what happened was, I was saying my affirmations into the phone, then I recorded it, then I put it on my car, like CarPlay. And what happened was that went rogue too. So what was happening was it was playing, all my affirmations were about my twin flame were playing in a loop. And then I was getting close to work and I was like, oh my God, I got to shut this off. And so what happened was I shut off the phone, like the actual like voice memo on the phone. And then I shut off the CarPlay, the radio, the Bluetooth. I shut that off and it turned back on. It actually turned back on. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting close to work. Like somebody's gonna hear this. And I'm like turning down the volume. Somehow the volume's turning back up and it's still playing on loop. And then finally I shut off the car and it's still playing. The damn affirmations were still playing. And I'm like, oh my God, angels, what are you doing? So that is what happens. That's what happens when your angels are trying to give you signs. Like they will give you signs anyway, anyhow, they can give you signs. So that's really what happens. Yeah, so Angie is saying like titles of songs are giving her messages. Yeah, absolutely. Like titles of songs, the songs that start playing. Yeah. And so Michael McCallis, is it McCallis? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Is saying Bublé style. Michael Bublé. I don't actually listen to Michael Bublé. My son, my 15-year-old, who's I think he actually lived through the 30s, tends to like Michael Bublé and like all these 30s music. Jai says, yeah, like listening, like waking up to songs. So your angels are going to give you colors, crystals, songs, words. Another one is our license plates. Have any of you actually seen license plates that are akin to your twin flame? So, oh, Bumblebee style, like Transformers. I have no idea what that is. I don't know. I'm sorry. I have no clue what that is. Too funny. I really don't know. I'm sorry. It's really funny. I don't know a whole lot of things with pop culture. You would think I would, but I'm just working too much. So I have a young work colleague who's always making references to pop culture. He's like 29 or 30. And every time he says something like an actor's name or something, I'm like, I have no idea who that is. And he just thinks I'm totally nuts. He thinks I'm totally crazy. So, but yeah, license plates. So license plates is another big one. So that's the thing, you guys. Your angels are trying to give you a heads up and just say, here are the signs. This is real. This is hardcore real. This is not imaginary. You are not imagining this. You are not imagining this connection. It is so real, and here it is. I'm going to give you tons and tons of signs. Yes, your angels have a sense of humor, Lauren. Of course they have a sense of humor. Yeah, so just like the loop on the CarPlay, right? The loop of my voice memo on the CarPlay, like that's totally insane. I was like, okay, so now I'm going into a meeting, a work meeting, and I actually had to shut down my phone because the thing wouldn't shut off. So I was like, this is crazy. This is totally nuts. Okay. Ask me questions. So what do I do if I'm healed and my divine masculine is still playing our connection small? That's by Elizabeth. Okay. So let's go back to that movie that I watched yesterday. And this is actually going to be a video that I'm going to make. And actually, I don't have time. I'm going back to work. I'm on my days off. Monday, Tuesdays are my days off currently. I go back to work tomorrow. And I'm going to vacation on Sunday. Yay! But guess what I'm going to do on vacation, guys? I'm writing my twin flame book. Because I work so much, I don't have time necessarily to write it and doing these videos. So during my 6 days on vacation, I'll be writing my book and going to the beach and in the pool and all that jazz. But I'll be writing my twin flame book. So that will be coming out hopefully within the next 3 months. When I get writing, I can usually finish a book in about a month. So, and then after that, it just takes time. So, so here's the question. What do I do if I'm healed and my divine masculine is not, or not doing his work, or not done with his work? Okay, here is the answer. And this came directly from the movie, is live your life. Live your life. Because the person that loves you so much, the person that loves you more than anything in the whole entire world, would want you to live your life. Okay? And living your life means everything. And I'm not going to spoil the movie. I'm really not going to spoil this movie because y'all have to see it. But live your life. Like, honestly, live your life and don't play small. Like, do not play small. Live your life. Go out there and smell the roses. Go out there and, like, jet ski. Like, go on vacation. I'm going on vacation by myself without my twin flame, you guys. So he's used up all of his vacation time. Plus, we're still in a situation where we really can't be together overtly. So yeah, I'm going on vacation by myself. I'm doing me. Like, I'm totally doing me. And so, like, live your life, because the person who loves you the most would want you to live your life. So I hope that helps. I hope that was a good answer. Christine, you're very welcome. I'm a Sagittarius too. I'm imagining you're a Sagittarius because it's in your username. Thank you so much. And for those of you that are brand new, please do subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell for notifications. Yeah, so let's see. If the twin flame doesn't make it, and thanks again to Cheryl. Thanks for listening. I thought you were busy, Cheryl. I thought you were busy with your guy. Thank you so much. That means so much to me that you took time away to be with me online again. Yay. Let's see. How do I get in contact with my guides? Okay. We are going to do angel cards. I'm going to pull angel cards for you guys next time on YouTube Live. Okay. So if you ask a question, we're going to pull cards for you guys. Your angels and guides and me. So that's we, right? It's not the royal we, but your angels and guides and me. We're going to pull cards for you guys. So we're going to pull cards for you guys if you have questions, and just one card per person. I'm not going to go crazy, But if you guys do have questions, I'm gonna pull cards for you next time. It was just like, today I didn't even know if I could figure out the buttons to push on to make YouTube live. So there you go, I'm live. I don't know how it happened. But yeah, so thank you for subscribing, you guys. The question is, hold on. Oh my gosh, I lost it. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Yes, okay. So, oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Oh, yay. Thank you. Hello. Hello, Jeff. Yes, Lauren, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So I told you guys in the last video the shift that I had. And I said this, so if you haven't viewed my video on Dark Night of the Soul yet, please go view it. Not now, after the live stream. But I had this shift. And I had this shift in knowing that my twin flame loves me in the real, like in the 3D, not in the 5D. In the 5D, I knew he loved me, but like in the 3D, like I know he loves me and I don't have to feel anxious about it anymore. I don't have to feel anxiety about it anymore. And once I really understood that on a cellular level, like I was able to relax a whole lot more. And when I was able to relax a whole lot more and like feel good about it and feel good about myself in this journey and feel like spot on that I wasn't going absolutely nuts, that his behavior toward me changed. So his behavior toward me changed because I was feeling good about it. Like I was feeling good about him, about the journey. I was feeling so good about the connection. I was feeling good that he loves me and he cares for me and that no matter what, he's got my back, because he really does. Like, I mean, I really honestly can't wait for someday to be able to come out with our story, because it's just an amazing story and he has always got my back, like all the time. So, yeah. So, okay, Christine, Sag, yay, Cheryl's a Sag too. So what you can do to believe you're not crazy, and I don't know what your actual name is, I see a username here, is follow forums like this, because we're all in the same boat, honestly. And then the second thing you can do is just follow your intuition. Honestly, follow your intuition. Like, stay true to who you are and follow your intuition. That's like super important, you guys. It's just like learning to trust your own inner voice, your own intuition about this, and that it's not just made up. You will see the signs, you will see the progression. So just, you have to trust your gut. Like, that's really what it comes down to. You absolutely have to trust your gut. And then like watch these videos and hang out with these live chats and just like understand that there are other people in the same boat as you, that you're not alone in this. You're totally not alone in this journey, because for a while there, I did think I was crazy. Even though I'm an intuitive, even though I'm an angel reader, even though I'm a spiritual teacher and been a spiritual teacher for the past 11 years, there was a moment where I thought, this is just insanely crazy, because so many things were happening, so many serendipitous events were happening, and so much telepathy was happening between my twin flame and I, that I literally thought I was going mad. But because I followed my intuition, I was able to see and hear the signs much better. So yeah. Okay. So Barb H, thank you, Cheryl, again. You're so sweet. Gosh, I'm receiving all this love. And that's what you guys have to do too, is be able to receive love. And that's something for us divine feminines, we've had a really hard time doing. For us divine feminines, if you are a divine feminine, in fact, even if you're in a masculine body, if you're a divine feminine, you have had a hard time receiving love. You have an easy time giving love, but you've had a really hard time receiving love. So it's your time now to be able to receive love. And how are you going to receive that love? Receive it first for yourself, and love yourself, and like really love yourself. And then like, second of all, you have to receive it when it's given to you. And so we sometimes get in this space where somebody will give us a compliment and we're like, oh no, like, I'm not me. Like, I really don't deserve that. No, you didn't mean me. Or if someone says like, you're really pretty today, And then our initial response is like, no, because I've got a zit, right? So it's like, you need to learn how to accept like love, compliments, and like everything that's coming your way that is really, really good. So I saw something that Barb said about angel cards. So what's the difference between angel readings and tarot readings? Not much difference. Since I am Christian and heavily Christian based, just in the core of my being, I'm not saying what's right. I'm not saying what's wrong. Honestly, I'm not. I'm just saying who I am as a person. I hear divine messages. And if you really listen back to my less popular videos on angels and guides, I talk about, I think I only have like 67 views on it or something like that. Maybe you guys can view it, but I really explain the difference. And I explain that when I was a child, I was really small. I was like age 4 or 5, that God used to talk to me and I used to hear God's voice. And I really believe now that it was perhaps the archangels like interceding for God. And I was actually hearing that. So I've been talking to the angels for a really, really long time. And so the messages that I personally get are through angel guidance and angel messages. And I just use cards as a confirmation. So I use cards as something that's positive and uplifting. And for me, tarot can be a little bit scary. And so I use angel tarot. So it's a little less scary. Okay, let me tell you this for SR Con 774. Your divine masculine is seeing signs and synchronicities. Absolutely, positively. Now, whether or not he is tuned into that frequency, that's another story. But they can't not see the synchronicities. They can't not see the signs because they're there and they're really, really apparent. So I'm gonna give you an example. And again, this is in one of my other videos where I said that, thank you, Lauren. I really love that, thank you. When I told my twin flame that I loved him through text, okay, I did it through text. Yes, I did. He, oh, that's so sweet. He did not respond well. He did not respond well at all. So I knew he got my text. I thought he had blocked me completely. So I knew he got my text because immediately after I sent that, and I wasn't nervous at all, but my heart started beating like crazy. And that often happens when I know he's receiving a message from me, is that my heart starts beating like crazy. So my heart started beating like crazy. So I knew he got the message. And then I dreamt that I asked him, and he comes to me in my dreams all the time. So I asked him, hey, did you get my text? And he just turned around and kissed me and then walked away and then came around and kissed me again. So when I woke up, I was like, he got the text. But his response the next day was very cold. And what I responded back to him was, well, you know, we have a strong spiritual connection. I love you unconditionally no matter what. And if you think that you're able to circumvent God's plan for us, then I'll just sit back and watch this. Like, I'll watch this happen. So that was at night. It was late at night before bed. And then the very next day, we were supposed to be in a meeting with about 10 or 11 people, okay? A meeting with 10 or 11 people. When I arrived, he and I were the first to arrive. Nobody else showed up. Nobody, not a single living soul showed up to this meeting, and there were supposed to be 10 people there. So that was the sign. That was God's way of saying, like, you think you're gonna circumvent my plan? Not gonna happen. So like things like that, right? Like totally crazy. So I think he understood and saw that. He maybe did not make the correlation to what I said the day before, but maybe he did, right? It's just like, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but like that is a blatant sign. What is that? Tatiana says, is my divine masculine remembering who we truly are? Yes. The short answer is yes. How long is it going to take for him to remember who you are? I don't know. It's going to depend on him. So what I like to say is, look, let's say you like country western music, okay? You love country western music. And I really don't like country western music, but let's say you like country western music, okay? And you're going to tune into a radio frequency that only plays classical music, right? And you're like, darn it, why isn't this station playing country western music? Because you're not tuned into the right station, right? So your divine masculine just may not be tuned into the right station. So he's still listening to music. It just might not be the right music because he's not tuned into the right frequency. So do you get it? Okay. Yeah. So Jai says, I did it through a letter on a flash drive. Huh. That's an interesting way. Why not, right? Okay. Yeah. So this is another thing that actually will happen is serendipitous, I don't even know how to say that, events, meaning like you guys will meet somehow in really strange places, like places that you're not normally intended to meet, like you guys will meet and then re-meet. You'll actually see each other again in different locations where you're not really supposed to run into each other. So like if Cheryl feels comfortable chatting a little bit of her story about how she ran into her twin flame, super fascinating story. But like you will run into your twin flame, like if you're in separation or even if you guys are coming into reunion, you'll happen upon them. You'll be at the same Starbucks at the same time, or you'll be at the same library at the same time or something like that. Okay, so the question arises, and this is not really twin flame related. This is more tarot and angel and Christianity related. God, this is a hard one. Okay, so let me give you my view, and this is only my view. I'm not going to say it's right. I'm not going to say it's wrong. It's just my view. Having been raised Christian and having been awakened and opened up to ancient knowledge from a very early age, when I was 18, I started studying yoga. I started studying meditation, and I was open to it and felt very connected to it very early on. Many Christians would say that yoga and meditation are anti-Christian. So they would say like, no, you can't practice yoga because that comes from Hinduism, when in fact it really doesn't. Hinduism is a religion, and yoga comes from India, which predates religion. It actually predates, like everybody was pagans at that time. So it just predates religion. So and I even had an ex-boyfriend who I was super connected to, who actually introduced me to yoga. And he was really, he was an amazing soulmate relationship in my early years, my early formative years. And I do talk about him and I write about him and stuff. Like he was an amazing person, but he later became a very, very, very conservative Christian who told me that like I was doing wrong by practicing yoga or about to teach yoga. And I just don't believe that. I believe that like God is too vast, too big, too open, and too wide to put restrictions and parameters around something that's good. So something that's healthy, something that's good. Now, here's the thing about angel reading, you guys, or like tarot reading, is that it comes with a great amount of responsibility. So because it comes with a great amount of responsibility, you want to make sure that your reader is someone who is spiritually awakened or spiritually enlightened. Because it has happened in the past where I've gotten a reading from a person who was not fully spiritually awakened, and they had a lot of their ego in it. And so, and this happened a couple of times actually, where they had their ego in it. And so instead of reading from the divine or hearing messages from the divine, they were kind of infusing their own judgments into that mix, which can be really harmful to the people you're reading for. So I always, like, if there's something I don't know, I'm gonna tell you blatantly, I don't know. If there is something that I don't feel right about, I'm not going to read it for you. So like some people know this online. Like there was a person who wrote me something, and like we set up a reading, and then she continued to write me something else. And I just said, I don't like the way this is going. And so I just said to her, I'm thinking that maybe you don't feel comfortable. Maybe I'm not the right reader for you. And she got really upset at first, and then just said like, well, I want to discontinue this conversation. And I said, that's fine. I'll give you your money back. I have no issue with that. But the reason is because like, if I'm not feeling it, if I feel like I can't do service to you, then I wouldn't do it. But I think it has nothing to do with going against Christianity. You just have you need a reader who's very spiritually awakened and that can honor God versus play God. Did that answer your question? Okay. So, how can I make my twin flame aware of our connection? You can't. I'm sorry, Anjan. I'm really sorry. You can't. There's no way you can. Your divine masculine or divine feminine is going to awaken at their own pace. The activation of the heart chakra, the activation of the chakras at the time of your meeting when you encounter each other, whether it's online or whether it's in person. Usually in person, it works a little bit better, especially if the person in front of you is not open to reading energies and auras and like feeling the energy that's through the connection. It just depends. But there's nothing you can do. Like, live your life, be you. There's nothing you can do. Just love that person. Love that person. Okay, so I had another question about, okay, I like this. I actually, hold on just one second. I found, because it's going so fast. Okay, Christine Sagittarius Queen asked, how do we know if we are divine masculine or divine feminine? That's a really, really good question, actually. So it's all about energy. So just know that. It's totally about energy. And the dynamic that you are going to know about is based on the energy and the dynamic between the two beings, between the two people, okay? So for me personally, while I am very feminine in nature, in relationships, I have tended to play a role that is more masculine a lot of the times, and it wasn't always healthy. Let me explain. So if you take the yin yang symbol, and I write about this for some of you that have gotten my book, thank you. So my latest book is called Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy. And I do talk about like the energies of the masculine and the feminine a lot throughout the book, because the chakras actually alternate in feminine and masculine energies, starting from the base being a masculine energy. Second chakra, the sexual chakra, is a feminine energy. The third chakra is the solar plexus, is a masculine energy. The heart is a feminine energy. And then it stops at the fifth, which is a masculine energy. So it's just energy, you guys. So it's not like, oh my gosh, like I'm not feminine or I'm not masculine or whatever. It's just energy. So you could perfectly well be in a feminine body and embody more masculine energy. So what are these energies and what do they represent? Thank you, Christine. So it is the feminine energy. Just think of it as being lunar, passive, receiving. It's a receptacle. So for those of you that are from India, and I saw a couple of names that might have been Indian. So like the classic Indian stories talk a lot about divine masculine, divine feminine, and their gods and goddesses in the lore, the stories, right? The stories that go throughout history in the lore. And so the feminine energy, just think of it as the receptacle, right? Okay, it's the receptacle. So it's a more receiving energy. It's passive, but it's not bad. It's powerful. To be able to sit back in your little meditative corner and have things drawn to you, have things magnetically come to you, is an extremely powerful energy, right? And so as a divine feminine, you need to stay in this energy if that indeed is who you are. Now, the divine masculine is forward moving and penetrating. You guys, come on, the phallic symbol, right? The warrior, moving forward, going out there, getting things done. Okay, that's masculine energy. Masculine energy is fire. Masculine energy is moving forward. Masculine energy is penetrating. Masculine energy is task oriented. Okay. And so to know in the dynamic which one you are in this specific dynamic, it's just, how are you acting? How are you acting in the dynamic, and how's your twin acting in the dynamic? So are you the more forward moving one? Are you the more penetrating one? Are you the more fire energy one moving toward this union? But like, if you are the divine masculine, chances are you're running. Unless if you're in reunion, you're running. Okay. So that's how you can tell. Like, if you're a divine feminine right now, then you're probably like in separation, you're probably chasing, and when in fact you should be receiving. Does that make sense? I hope that I answered that question. Okay. Yeah. And so Christine actually brings up a really good point. She brings up a good point in saying we're like two kids. Okay, honestly, the stage of the runner chaser is very, very adolescent in nature. It's very adolescent in nature, right? So it's sort of like those initial stages when you're in high school or middle school. Let's take it back to middle school, where it's like you really like this person, but you don't want the person to know that you like them. And so you tell your friend that you like that person, and you send your friend over to that person to say that you like that person. You know, it's very adolescent, but it's just because the dynamic and the connection is so incredibly strong that sometimes it's just unbearable to be together. Even though you want to be together, it's unbearable till you've worked through your stuff. You're welcome. Okay. I kept pushing, Tina says, I kept pushing mine away because I wasn't worthy. Why were you not worthy? I'm wondering, why were you not worthy? That's what I'm just wondering. Like, why, Tina, why did you think you weren't worthy? That's just like something to explore. I talked about this in a previous video, is that I felt that I wasn't worthy of receiving love in the best way, in the most healthy way. And that's programming, right? That's programming from your past. That's programming from your upbringing. That's programming from past lives, perhaps. But yeah, so I mean, I would just say, like, explore that. Explore why you're not worthy. And one great reader actually gave me homework to do. She's an amazing person who is like, I think that I might have like this much enlightenment, like this much. She has like this much enlightenment, like crazy amounts of enlightenment. So she actually gave me homework, and she said, in order to help with your worthiness to receive, give yourself everything that you need and want and desire. So don't withhold anything from yourself. Like, do not withhold anything. Just keep, like, if you desire something, get it. If you want something, get it. Like, keep giving yourself what you need and what you desire. As an exercise. This is not being narcissistic. This is as an exercise to show yourself that you're worthy of receiving. Show yourself that you're worthy of receiving love. Does that make sense? 18 years younger. Yes, many of us. Okay, so that's another thing. That's really funny. Before I answer about the age difference, Jai says, does being an empath make the connection feel more intense? Yes, but you have to believe that you and your twin are both empathic. So there you go. Here is a story that you guys have to remember. You guys are two halves of one soul. So while your human existences may have been different, or your childhood wounds may have been different, or your upbringing, or your cultures, or your social background, or your economical background, or your religious background may have been different, there are usually a lot of parallels and a lot of similarities as well. But on the inner core of who you guys are, like the inner core of your being, you guys are the same. You guys are the same. Your soul is the same. It's one soul, right? It's one soul split into two. So your soul is actually the same. So when you say like, am I an empath? Is my divine feminine or divine masculine not an empath? It's like you guys are the same. You're the same soul. Of course your divine masculine is an empath because you're the same. So when my when my divine masculine and I were talking at one point, and it was weird because the conversation just was not at all on this path, like totally not at all on this path. He was talking about horoscopes. And he's like, yeah, I know it's silly. Like, I don't know if I should be reading horoscopes, but I kind of like it. And in fact, like, I think I'm kind of psychic. And I just said, oh, well, I am psychic. And so I kind of told him about my background, and he's like, oh, well, I'd like to learn from you, or maybe like you could teach me this. And so it's just something that he would never say about being a little psychic. It's just out of his personality, something he would never actually say. And so I'm sitting in my car on the way home, and I had the epiphany of, oh my gosh, of course he's psychic. He's my soul. He's the other half of my soul. Of course. Of course he's psychic. Christine, yes, I think if I did everything correctly, YouTube is uploading this to an actual video after, so you actually get to see it. So yes. You mentioned in a previous video that twins will eventually come into union. Is this forever or just temporary? Oh my gosh, that's a tough question. Yes and no. So it just depends. It depends on your trajectory in life. Honestly, some twins, because they still have stuff to work out, will come into union and go into separation, come into union and go into separation, come into union and go into separation. That's just what happens. What I believe is for this collectivity that is happening right now and what we are actually seeing is that this collectivity, especially if you're in a romantic partnership with this, and some people talk about brother-sister relationships that are twin flames or best friends that are twin flames or whatever the case may be. I read the collective that's in romantic partnerships. That's what I read. So I don't know about the other ones, and I don't necessarily, let me tell you why. Here's why. The sexual component in the twin flame connection is an extremely, extremely useful and like necessary component in this journey. Because the exchange of information that happens during a sexual encounter with your twin flame is something that is doing way more than the physical. So it's like, it's an actual exchange of energy and information. And the transcendence that happens as a result of the sexual energy between you and your twin in a romantic partnership, right, is designed to help elevate the chakras and the Kundalini awakening in both of you, and ultimately in the entire world. So that's why I tend to read the more romantic partnerships. Now, if you guys do come into reunion, let's say next week, does that mean it's going to be forever? I don't know. I don't have that knowledge. Like, I know for me in my situation with my twin is that yes. I just know this intuitively. I know this because I've received messages of it. And also, I'm getting down, like I said, I don't like going down rabbit holes, but I'm getting down into a little tiny rabbit hole. But if you've studied numerology ever, our working number for both of us is 4. We both have 4 as a working number. And the working number 4 is all about stability. And both of us have struggled our entire lives with working this number, which is our number in numerology. And so our coming together is going to provide that stability that we both need. And so that's why it's going to remain more or less stable. So that's the short answer and the long answer. So how do we receive more messages? Christine, start meditating. Honestly, start meditating. If you're not meditating already, then just start a daily practice of meditation. It'll just awaken you. It'll tune you into that frequency where you can speak to your twin in the 5D. So I can't tell you if you guys are in separation, how it will happen in the 3D, because that's totally up to him or her or whoever your twin is. But I am able to communicate with my twin on so many levels, but because we actually communicate in person, but I'm able to actually communicate with him in the 5D as well, a lot. So I know exactly, like I can have conversations with him in the 5D, and it works perfectly well. And I just know that because I've received validation in the 3D that what I heard in the 5D was completely accurate. So yeah, him. So yeah, I would say just, do a daily practice of meditation so that you can be open to hearing the messages in the 5D. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, Lindsay says, is there a way we can tell if the DM knows of the connection? Somebody had asked that before, and I said that, just by actions, by things that they say to you. And if you're not in conversations with them, there's really no way you can know. But if you are speaking to them in the 5D, then you typically do know. At one point, several months back, I actually thought my divine masculine was a lot further along in the journey in the 3D than he actually was. But that's because in the 5D, he was communicating with me like all of this stuff that he told me, like he was ready for union. And this was a few months ago, that he was ready for union, that he was ready, he was going to do this, he was going to reach out to me. And then like in the 3D, like nada, nothing was happening. And then even just seeing him or talking with him, it was like, I couldn't tell if the wheels were actually turning in there, to recognize the connection. So there was a little bit of delay between the 5D and the 3D. And I do talk about that as well. So like if you are communicating with them through telepathy, if you're communicating with them in the 5D, that there is a little bit of a delay of trickle down effect into the 3D. So we are just rounding up on, wow, we are rounding up about 3 more minutes. Yay, yay, yay. 3 more minutes on this beautiful chat. So we're going to just wrap it up in just a few minutes. Gosh, I'm so excited. And thank you so much that you guys are just making comments and leaving your questions. And oh my God, it's so amazing. I love it. Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very, 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 very welcome. I do have a video on twin flames that are married. So if you haven't viewed that, then I know that was a question. TF has that out there. I do have a question. I do have a video that I did on twin flames who are married. Priya wants to know, and this will be the last one I'll take. You're very welcome. You're absolutely welcome. So what is permanent and temporary union? Okay, I will close out with this. You all know you guys are always in union, right? You're one soul. You could not possibly be separate from your twin. You're one soul. If that is your twin, you're one soul. You're not separate. You're never, ever, 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 ever separate. Coming into the 3D union is another story, as you guys have seen, as you guys have known. It's totally another story. So let the story play out. Go with the flow. Like, let the story play out. Do your work. Do your homework. Live your life. Love that person unconditionally, and really practice unconditional love with that person. And you know what? Before you know it, like, things will start to unfold. And as they unfold, you're going to have more questions and concerns, but just stay heart-centered. And that's really the most important part in this journey, is just to stay heart-centered. So you're very welcome. Thank you to you all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do take the moment to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I will be off the air next week, since I will be out of the country. And I will be back on YouTube live in 2 Tuesdays. So I'm going to try to do this twice a month in 2 Tuesdays. And I love this. This is kind of fun. I was like, I never did this. And it's kind of hard, like, mitigating the chats as well as speaking to the camera. But, you live and you learn. So yeah, many blessings to you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I love this. This is awesome. Tell your friends, your twin flame friends, in other chats, about the live stream. And I hope this was super helpful. And thank you so much for Cheryl on Super Chat. Like, you're amazing, and our reading was amazing. And if you want a particular angel reading with me, then email me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com, and we can schedule that. Like I said, next week is out because I am out of town. But after that, I'll still be doing angel readings. So thanks so much, you guys. I love you all. Thank you. Bye.